Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is the Upper Tier Podcast. It's Wednesday, it's midweek, it's Pro Wrestling Weekly. We've got a full complement here this week. Look at that, both Seans are in the building. So we're going to have a bit of crack. We're going to be doing a Raw recap for you. We're going to be talking Genesis. We're going to be talking Joe Hendry calling out what most of us here believe is one of the best wrestlers ever in John Cena. We're going to be talking about CM Punk going off script, potentially. And we're also going to be taking a look at the lineup for Dynamite tonight. We're going to be talking about Jordynne Grace finishing up in TNA. Is she WWE bound? And what the future holds for the Doc Britt Baker. And the boys are going to be bringing us through what we know so far about the Loco Rumble from OTT coming up soon. We'll be going through that as well. And of course, we'll have a short discussion as well on the location for WrestleMania 42. And we'll bring you the usual flavour of history and notable birthday. So packed show coming up this hour. First of all, we get into the lads. How are we, lads? How's things? How's Sean Mack? How's Sean out?
Doing fantastic, Niall. How are you?
Good, yeah, not a bother. How are you, Sean? Good. Recovered from the pub crawl?
Good. Just about. Good, Still not 100%, but we'll get there.
Good stuff. Eno's in the comments. Big up, Eno. Good to see you, pal. All good. Don't worry, I won't outshine the Shawnee Bros. There you go, the Shawnee Bros. You've become kind of a tag team now, you know. This kind of want to get onto the printers here. It'll be great to see the Shawnee Bros on the pod. I'll be looking forward to an autograph and a photo with the lads.
Ian, if you go to the local Rumble in the National Stadium on the 1st of February and you see us, shake our hands, we'll get pictures with you, buy you pints, whatever you want.
There you go. It's a tenner for an 8x10. And it's
we charge for photos.
Yeah, how about PCO? Yeah, the boys we were just
tenner
talking
each,
off here.
Tenner each. Let's not get that wrong.
Oh yes. What about if we get the double one, the tag team one? Is that just 10 or is that 20?
10 each, or you can get 20. A combo of the two of us for 50.
Only if it comes in one of those cheap deals frames.
Dynamic pricing.
There we go. Yeah. No, just try and get Jamie Romero from WSI. Should if I only had the time into James Romero. He does podcasting with Dutch Mantel. Oh, very good. Very good. Evening, lads. What's the crack? Big up, Baz. Good to see you. Daz is in. What's the crack? All good, Daz. Appreciate it. By the way, Daz, I robbed your image for Dynamite there. So just to let you know, I'll be using it on the slide later, but appreciate it. Daz is always the man for the information during the week and stuff like that. No. Right, let's start. First of all, Raw recap. Lads, what was the thoughts? The first week we kind of had launch, promo heaven, little bit of wrestling. The second week then we had lots of wrestling, less promo, less segment, less all that kind of stuff. And then this week, we're back into it again. What was your thoughts on Raw this week? Sean, you kick us off there. Give us your thoughts.
I have to say I actually enjoyed it this week. Obviously we see main event USO holding the World Heavyweight Championship there. Hopefully that's something we see in the near future. It was great seeing JBL back, and I thought that little segment backstage with the New Day giving him $2, it was real sneaky and kind of condescending. I liked that a lot. And obviously, we got a banger for main event in the sense of Jacob Fatu versus Braun Strowman, which I think will be an unbelievable match. Two absolute powerhouses. You got Braun Strowman, a former Universal Champion and definitely a future World Champion in Jacob Fatu. And obviously now we're getting the run back between Nia Jax and Rhea Ripley. They had a match back at Elimination Chamber. Good match. It wasn't bad now, but do the fans really want to see it again? I don't know.
I suppose the problem for Rhea, lads, is that she's kind of gone through a lot of people, so everything seems like a run back. I have to say, lads, we look at Jacob Fatu and we think he's a monster, and then you see him in that face-to-face with Braun Strowman. How big is Braun Strowman compared to Jacob Fatu? It's insane. I have to say, Sean, as well, you touched on Jey Uso holding the belt. I think it looks good in his hands. Sean Mack, we had Pipe Bomb 2, nearly, or Pipe Bomb 2.0. One CM Punk not happy with Republican Hulk Hogan. Give us your thoughts.
Pipe bomb. To call it pipe bomb number 2 would have to compare it to pipe bomb number 1. So pipe bomb number 1 was him complaining about John Cena because he took an opportunity he deserved. Not that he was necessarily a bad person. I think this one about Hogan is just because Hogan's a bit of an arsehole. And he's very well loved by the fans, as you can tell by the Raw Netflix. It was Jimmy Hart that they were booing, I promise. But Punk is always fantastic on the mic. Every time he has that mic in his hand, he always has purpose. He always has something to say, and that's good because I feel when you have someone on the mic so much, if they're not good, I'm not saying Punk's not good, but a lot of people aren't as good as Punk. So when you only restrict them to being on the mic, they can feel really excessive and boring and eventually more wooden as to go along. But I've never felt that with Punk. Good promo. I like how we shout on Hogan just a little bit. Good stuff on a good episode of Raw. I really feel, as you said, by the fourth episode, I'd say they're going to be fully in the swing of things. Because as we said last week, first episode was a launch to get people involved. The second, third, fourth, fifth is going to be Monday Night Raw.
Who are we looking for, lads, as a potential opponent for Lyra for the IC belt? Who are we thinking? What would you like to see, either of you two? Throw me a few names. Get me excited for it.
I mean, I got to go with probably the most obvious one, and that is Becky Lynch. You know, I just think it was so special, the two of them going against each other for the NXT Women's title. I think just an all-Irish match. 2 Irish people in the same match. It was historic for NXT, and I think it would be historic as Lyra's first defense.
Interesting. What about, I wanted to get your thoughts, Sean Mack. Kofi Kingston overnight turning into Crime Times JTG. What's going on there? Jeans, no Timberlands, obviously, because he's still in the Jordans, but the hair's growing out, the stubble's growing out, looking scruffy, taking that heel turn, AJ Styles-esque, rocking up in the jeans, no top on. Money, yeah.
Money. Just paying homage to the great JTG and Shag Gaspard, who's sadly no longer with us. Absolutely. I think it was just a fashion choice. I feel with the New Day, that's hard. It's a tough one. The New Day in 2025. The New Day in 2025. I feel they're letting their hair down a little bit. They're being a bit more aggressive and casual with how they dress, because part of the New Day gimmick when it was still Big E was, they were over positive, so their gear was like crazy, and I don't think they could wear that gear and still like be heels. But also it did remind me of the that's a shit.
And I'm gone. That's gonna really
We're right.
Yeah. Sorry, what was I? What was I talking about? Was it Kofi Kingston? Yeah.
New Day.
New Day. Yeah. Just paying homage to the greats, and I hope we'll get some video packages on the way, like the yo. Looks like Homeboy got lost on his way back to Banana Republic. And then it turns out to be Kofi Kingston, and his chubby ass thought he could outrun Shad Gaspard. Yeah. I don't know. It's good. I'm really into this New Day arc. Because they're really despicable, but they're fun to hate. You can get a kick out of booing them. And they seem to be leading up to it. And they're all very accomplished wrestlers, so hopefully it works out. But this is good stuff. But I am hoping for a segment where they rob Yon Fella in the hood out of the car with the guy in the background, just to really lean into Crime Time, because you can't dip into it and then like get out. The water's warm.
Are we thinking along the lines of Black Hoodie, Big E, rocking up? Do all roads lead to Big E, or what way is this going to go? Or
I don't know if Big E's ever going to wrestle again.
Oh.
And I hate to be blunt about it, but that's the truth. So I feel Big E, anything to Big E for now, anyways, is off the table. But I would be hopeful and optimistic that he could do something with them. Even maybe not even a match, just him costing them a
Some
match
sort of
or
interference or something that's
yeah,
low key.
absolutely. Yeah,
Nice to me.
100%. Something like God, imagine getting him over.
Mm.
Yeah, something like that. I think would be cool because I think even if Big E is cleared, he's going to have to be very, very careful, very, very, very careful and cautious. So his ring work might suffer as a result. So it might be watered down, but I don't know. No, Harlem Heat was WWE's ripoff of Crime Time.
Yes.
TYME, not TIME.
Before their time. Sean O.
Yeah.
Yes.
Drew McIntyre. What does this man have to do to get a win?
Probably leave and come back again, if I'm being quite honest.
Reinvent himself.
Go the ICW route.
Marry the boss's stepdaughter.
It's not your worst idea. I will admit you've had worse ideas.
Buy shares in the company.
You're fired. I don't know. I like the way he's kind of using social media to his advantage. Like you can really see, he's all over TikTok. He's all over Twitter, Instagram. Everywhere you look, you see Drew McIntyre, and I feel like it comes as an advantage, especially fan wise. The fans are really oh hello. Got distracted easily there. I feel like the fans are really coming around to him. That I kind of noticed a bit on Raw that they're maybe turning against Seth, that in a way Drew's becoming the baby face. So it'll be interesting to see what way it goes. I don't know.
Absolutely. Do we reckon there's going to be an appetite for Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn? I seen it there on Monday night and I was going, oh, good Lord. Again?
Yeah.
Again? Is this the go-to card again?
The thing is, though, they always have really, really good matches. And I think the last time they were against each other, I felt like, oh my God, they're really doing this again. But it was great. Now, whether or not they could pull it off, again, I'm not... I don't know. If they have to go balls to the wall or not at all, they have to fully commit to it. And if they are even like halfway not there or just a little bit committed, forget about it. You can't have a serious program that's anywhere near what they did before WWE or before main roster WWE if you're not fully invested. But Kevin Owens has to finish up with Cody first. And just judging by like his character and stuff, if he loses at Royal Rumble, which I'm fairly certain he will, I don't see that happening. I don't see him just quitting Cody and moving on. But with enough time, with effort, and with everyone going balls to the wall, I think that could be good. But at the minute, no, I'm okay. But we'll see. May the cards fall as they may.
Yeah, it's kind of, and that other dynamic we want to talk about, obviously. Show starts, and out comes Michael Cole and Wade Barrett. And Cole getting a lot of heat off social media at the moment because he had a bit of a dance with Jey Uso and all. And, you know, wrestling fans sometimes just are never happy. They just want to be down in the doldrums. And I've seen lads reposting it today going, this would never happen if Vincent Kennedy McMahon was there and all this. Yeah, no, because Jey Uso probably wouldn't find himself in that position. And he wouldn't be dancing. He'd probably still be part of the Usos or something like that. You know what I mean? So it's just... it's unbelievable. What did we make? Wade Barrett coming out. Obviously, Pat McAfee was busy on College Game Day or something, that final one or whatever it is, or playoffs. So Wade Barrett steps in. Obviously, I would have thought, all things being equal, that would have been Corey Graves. But obviously, Corey Graves had a bit of a spat his dummy out and all, and had a bit of an tear on social media. But then what we weren't expecting was apparently NXT, he wasn't going to be there. And the next thing, he's at the desk. Was this a reaction to, well, you know, if you don't want to rock up, it's not a problem because Wade Barrett will just fill in here and that's the way it goes. And if you swat your dummy out, you better show up on NXT because the show will just go on. Like Austin said, you just take out a cog, put another cog in, and the wheel keeps spinning. Sean Mack, what was you thinking? Were they sending a message with Wade Barrett?
Yeah, I think he had a gun at the back of his head saying, you will commentate NXT and you will have a good time doing so. But then here's the thing. If Corey Graves goes, who's going to do Speed?
Yeah.
Joe, maybe. Actually, I watched Speed for the first time in a while today. Chris Sabin versus Grayson Waller. Good crack. I'd recommend it. I don't know what the situation is with Grace. I wasn't really sure what to think of it when we were talking about it last week. I don't know. Maybe they do a thing where like he's trying too hard to be happy, and then eventually he snaps and goes to a big tirade, and that either gets him back on Raw or maybe. No, I was going to say. Yeah, I was going to say has a match with Shawn Michaels, but no, absolutely not.
We
I
spoke
don't know.
about that last week, didn't we?
Yeah. I don't know what they're going to do with Corey, but
well, if he keeps on spitting his dummy out, he's going to be found in a corridor somewhere with the Rock down to Charleston or something like that, like Coachman. This is where this is going to go, and they're going to absolutely tear him right down to where he has no value, and then back him out the door into a dumpster like Bischoff. This is the way it's going to go. This is how they operate.
You say him doing the Charleston with the Rock like that's a bad thing and not something I want to see.
Yeah, but he's had to carry it around for God knows how long now. And when you go off and you leave WWE and you go to ESPN and you want to be taken seriously as a commentator over there and a sports broadcaster, and everyone keeps on flashing up the Charleston, it's not always a good look. It's not always taken into the same
circle. Could be worse. You could see on your phone breaking news: Corey Graves attacked in NXT parking lots. So.
That Speed title looks like it was created on WWE 2K24. It looks like it was created on SmackDown Here Comes the Pain, not the 2K24.
It looks like it was created on SmackDown.
Yeah.
On the PS1.
The etching on it is like some of those characters' jaws. What was that other one? TNA Impact. I literally only bought it just for AJ Styles' entrance.
The Ultimate X match in that game is class, but there's not too much else. I like the suicide career mode's really good as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. What are we thinking Saturday night's main event? You see most of the matches are up there anyway, so pretty solid card, isn't it? Are we expecting any title changes? Any shock surprises?
No.
Nothing.
No.
Our boy Sheamus ain't getting the IC belt, no?
No.
I'd like to hope so.
Is this the first time we're in total undivided agreement about something? You know, the way we can discuss and say, well, I think maybe we're just no.
But do they have to do something to keep it relevant, to keep it running and keep on doing it, no?
Yeah, absolutely. But the thing is the nostalgia factor of it, the fact that WWE's on fire right now, and the fact that they're, price gouging people and saying we have the highest skating arena in history and all that. That will obviously draw eyes onto the show, regardless of who's on it. But they do need to make it, because Saturday night's main event was a big deal back in the day. But the thing is, out of all these titles, Gunther's still, in a really hot spot. They're probably going to do him versus Cena or him versus someone at Mania. Rhea's ran through everyone. She's already beaten Nia Jax, and she's just come off the back of a really bad program with Liv Morgan and Judgment Bray. And I love Sheamus, but he's had a lot of shots for the IC title and hasn't won any. So every time he's put in there with someone, especially Braun Breaker, who he's lost to, I don't know. I would love to see it, but I don't want it to happen just because, he's Sheamus and he's one of our hometown lads and we love him. I want him to be built properly, built to a stage where he's a believable contender, and they haven't done that yet. I'm not saying they can't do it, but just not yet. And also, that was the jingle for the ad that they used on the ad break when they showed this on YouTube. We are going to hear that a lot, so the chances are you'll probably get 5 minutes of a match and the rest of ads. I don't even know if I'm going to watch this live, just because for my own sanity. I watched it.
Is this only going out on YouTube, or is it on Peacock as well?
It's on Peacock, but for us in Ireland, it's YouTube, not Netflix. Netflix don't want to touch it for now, anyway. But it'll be YouTube for us.
With a good VPN now, and with Peacock, it can be yours. It can be.
Good VPN ain't going to kill those ads, I'm afraid.
No, it won't kill the ads. But I think I'd rather. I don't know. There's something weird about watching YouTube on a big telly, isn't it? It just feels weird and grainy and wrong and just
or on a phone in the bed. in a dark room.
Oh, that's horrible. You don't want to be going there. A laptop, worst case, with a decent monitor, but don't have your phone in your hand in a bed like that. No way. What do we make of Punk, lads? Calling out Hogan. This has been a mixed reaction to this, isn't it? Some people are going, yeah, good on you, gone off script and all. And I noticed, remember the interviewer, she was looking at Punk going, what? I didn't know that was in it, kind of thing. And but what was your thinking on it? I mean, the reaction online has been, what are you talking about? If there was no Hulk Hogan, there'd be no pro wrestling. Sean,
Who's gonna? Yeah, Sean.
Oh, I actually, for once, I don't have much to say. I think you should take this one, Sean. I've just drawn a blank.
You want me to take it?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Yeah. I agree with what you said about Hogan. The fact he was a huge star. He got the WWF or WWFE. Was he there for the WWFE? Because that's what it used to be called. The classic era.
Yeah, it was WWF. Yeah. I think he was there right at the tail end of WWF, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know how they actually lost the rights to the WWF name?
Yeah, it was the court case with the World Wildlife Fund, wasn't it?
They lost a court case to the World Wildlife Fund, so Vince lost to a bunch of panda lawyers. What a world! But sorry.
And I visited the WWE World in Times Square back then. Remember the big bar restaurant kind of thing and all that. Remember where they used to do the Tough Enough stuff and all, and that kind of
absolutely.
stuff. Yeah, I visited that bar. I met Big Show that night actually, and I met Jacqueline. They were there, so
wow,
it was interesting. But that was kind of in around that time, I think, of get the F out kind of thing and all that kind of thing. So it was kind of crazy.
I know they have the experience in Saudi, but could you ever in your lifetime envision another WWF New York, something like that?
It was so cool. You walked in, first of all, there was a big lobby and there was a big arcade and a load of merch. I actually bought my first piece, well, not my first piece of wrestling merch, but kind of over there at that stage. I bought the hockey jersey, the old hockey jersey, the navy and grey one, the Mankind one, and it was cool.
Oh yeah.
That's what I picked that up there that night when I was in, and we had food there and all. And out of respect, they had the menu. On the menu, I ordered the Big Show burger because I just met him, which was pretty cool. And Jacqueline was at the bar mixing with the fans, and we were just drinking and having a crack and all. It was cool. It was great.
God, that sounds amazing.
Good times, much more approachable and all.
Yeah. So I went off track. We're talking about Hogan. I think he was such a huge part of getting WWE to it. Well, yeah, WWFE, but now WWE, to a huge stage in popularity. And I think without him, it never would have gotten to that stage where we would have had the Attitude Era. And without the Attitude Era, we wouldn't have the current era. And at the current era, we wouldn't have the Triple H era and all that. So I think for that, he should be remembered and revered. But you go back and you look at his in-ring work, and I know wrestling at that time, it was more about the spectacle and storytelling than the meat and potatoes, the actual in-ring work. There's a lot of guys that you'd consider the GOATs who were far better than Hogan was in ring. And Hogan has had this litany of controversies like the racist stuff and sport and
sponge and
the
Gawker stuff and
and the lies. And that's funny to me because I heard Jim Cornette and Brian Last reading them out. And I was like on the floor laughing, but it kind of hurts his legacy. And it's a pity that someone who got wrestling that stage can be such an idiot, to put it lightly. So I think in terms of performer, entertainer, Hulk Hogan, absolutely legend. Terry Bollea, the man behind I was going to say the mask, the man behind the headband and the bandana. I don't know.
Well, you know from the court case, they're not the same person, don't you? You do know this, don't you? Did you watch the Gawker documentary?
The one on Netflix. Yeah, I did.
Watch it.
Yeah,
it's well worth a watch on if you haven't watched it yet. Apparently, Terry Bollea and Hulk Hogan are not the same person.
I wouldn't have known. Do you know Hulk Hogan? I was listening to that video. I was talking about Jim Cornette and Brian Last reacting to his lies. He said that Darren Aronofsky, who made the wrestler Mickey Rourke, offered him the lead role 3 times, and he turned it down because he didn't deserve it. And Darren Aronofsky categorically denied ever offering him the role.
Didn't he say he turned down? Wasn't he offered the Was he offered the lead guitarist role or something in Metallica or something? Did you
Yeah.
say something like that? Was it Metallica?
Yeah, Metallica
Yeah.
and the Stones, and he said apparently Lars Ulrich
Mm.
like came to him directly and asked, and then James Hetfield went on Twitter and said, "I've never heard of James Hetfield, singer Metallica. I've never heard of Hulk Hogan." I actually had an annual, a WWE annual, and there's like a true or false section. So it was like Hulk Hogan, he'd be like, "Hey brother, back in the day, I used to play bass for the Stones and Metallica," and I went my whole life thinking that was true. He was actually considered for it, and I only found out through that video. I'm like, "Wait, what? Really?"
Mm.
He was never offered to play bass for Metallica or Rolling
go.
Stones.
Lads, I'm going to WrestleMania 41 in Vegas. I've spent a lot of money so far to go. If I end up with Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn and I end up with Roman Reigns versus Goldberg, I'm going to be very upset. I'm going to be really upset now. This can't go this way. These are...
Yeah, imagine dropping half a mortgage and the cost of 2 kidneys to see Roman and Goldberg at Mania in 2025. I'd be sickened. I don't know how you. I don't know how you cope.
Oh, seriously. Why
Get
not
yourself to
have
board.
Raquel challenging Rhea for the title? Do you know what it is? I'm not too sure they have that level of trust in Raquel at the moment.
No, absolutely
I
not.
think they've tried it a couple of times and it's kind of been squeaky bum a bit.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, and this isn't necessarily a Raquel problem. It's more a Rhea problem. She's beaten everyone. So there's no more dream matches off the main roster anyway. There's no more people who she hasn't wrestled, who she could do a program with. So it's really...
yeah, there's going to be some sort of a loop back around, isn't there, between Charlotte and Becky and everything else again, isn't there? This way, it's going to go in this cycle again, and then
that's why
unless they bring in Jordine and they shove her to the moon, or unless the Doc comes in, Britt Baker, and they just do that AJ Styles kind of thing, boom, straight to the main roster kind of thing. And
that's what I was thinking when Sean was talking about Becky potentially facing Lyra for the thing. I don't know, because Becky Hogan was the thing. And I feel we'd be going right back to that. And a lot of people, there's like stupid fucking idiots on Twitter who say that Lyra's only in the position she's in because she's Becky's friend.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, she's Becky's friend.
You can see the heat as well, the talk of Charlotte winning the Rumble as well. It's not being received very well. When it goes out there,
absolutely not being received well. No one should win the Rumble more than once, and she is dangerously close to beating Cena's record and Ric Flair's record. It took Cena... When did he win was it 2017 Royal Rumble?
Yeah.
It took him 15 years to get 16. Charlotte's like 3/4 of the way in like 6 or 7 years. That is ridiculous.
And of those 6 or 7 years, 2 of those years she probably hasn't been around.
Yeah.
So it's really 4 years of being like, if you think of Cena's missed her full time, 15, 16 years. Rarely was away, rarely was injured.
Speaking of full time, this retirement tour is so good that he showed up in one episode of Raw and hasn't been anywhere since. So when is Cena back? I'd say maybe go home show for the Rumble. Maybe definitely Rumble, obviously, but maybe the go home show next week.
Yeah, possibly.
I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean that's the way it's going to be. It's not going to be quite what they said about every week and every house show tour, and but we shall see.
If I had my way, it would be get him into 3 Arena one more time.
I use a VPN for Netflix for the Canadian version, no ads. There you go, lads.
Canadian version with no ads.
Canadian version, no ads.
I don't think Netflix had ads. When I watched the Raw, the first Raw of Netflix era, it would cut to black and then immediately go back to main screen, like it was thinking of doing it and then realized it couldn't. If we got any ads, it was for like WB Shop.
Yeah, we did get ads, but I know when you watch it the next day, there's no ads in it.
Is there not?
Straight through, yeah. The version that goes, the version that's up there on the replay doesn't contain what's on the live show, because obviously the advertisers are probably paying for the live show. Really, is where the audience is. The 4.9 million or whatever it is kind of the live show,
Yeah.
Yeah. Next week, Acers. Yeah, Hogan turning heel. God, just remember. It's hard to remember when it's for NWO returns.
How's he going to do it without Scott Hall?
Yeah.
Or Kevin Nash? Well, no, Nash, is he still around? I know he's still around, but like he's not with the company.
No, well, they're kind of always with the company. We're talking Triple H here and Shawn Michaels, aren't we?
Yeah, but this sounds like Vince Russo, the NWO returns with Hogan and all these people. You know, if they even offered me to come back to the WWE, bro, I'd do the NWO, and like everyone would be in there. All the
Hogan
mid
still
cards would be in
blames
there.
Taker for injuring his neck. I bet he does, actually.
Mm.
I wanted an XFL restaurant. That was never going to happen.
Jesus. No.
Although, do you know what would be cool? I would like one of the helmets.
Of the XFL.
Yeah, I'd like one of the helmets
Yeah.
for the shelf and stuff like that. That'd be
What
pretty
happened?
good.
What happened to the XFL? Didn't The Rock
It
buy it?
died.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know,
Rock
but
bought
Rock
it, but I
bought it.
don't know what his intention was for it, but it just went sideways. And when it started off, this was when Vince was kind of breaking out, wasn't he? He was thinking about bodybuilding, he was thinking about American football and
Yeah.
all sorts of stuff. And he realized sticking to wrestling was where it was at.
An ICO Pro. Yeah,
ECW was responsible for the Attitude Era, Wrestling 101.
Yeah,
Let me know in
absolutely.
the chat, folks, agree or disagree.
No
Disagree.
ECW, no Attitude Era.
I don't think Bubba the Love Sponge should be promoting Hogan's beer somehow.
No, I'd be doubtful, but
Yeah.
you know, maybe
Roman
Sadie.
Reigns 2K cover reveal on Raw. Yeah, absolutely. Rightly so as well. Remember Hogan said he partied with John Belushi in 1984 when Belushi died in 1981. Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah, sure. That was.
Yeah.
What was the other one? He said, speaking of Kevin Owens, he said he was the first to realize his potential, and then it said in brackets after 7 years of solid work in the Indies. And I think he said he met a sick child like in London and got him tickets to SummerSlam when they were in Wembley in that time, and he wasn't in London.
Yeah,
I think, or something like that.
Yeah,
And
he wasn't even there. He said he was there, but he wasn't even there apparently.
Yeah, and he said he got blacklisted from Hollywood because he rejected a gay producer's advances.
Yeah, don't forget Elvis was once a Hulkamaniac. There we
Yeah.
go.
I know he was a wrestling fan. Cornette talked about that a little bit. I don't know about a Hulkamaniac now, but
Rhea Ripley versus Becky, WrestleMania 41.
they did it last year. Now saying that, I know Becky was really sick, and I know Rhea had like a pretty major panic attack beforehand, but the match wasn't that good. So
Another lie from Hogan, I think, when he said him and Savage made up.
Did they?
Yeah, that's unproven. Yeah, no. Apparently he was. Didn't he say he visited Savage in the hospital and stuff like that, and they had made amends and stuff like that? No, but it hasn't been kind of proven or unproven kind of thing. So
obviously, you can't ask Savage now to testify.
Of course, yeah, absolutely. Right, let's get off this. Let's have a quick chat about Genesis. Give me your thoughts, lads. Obviously, Joe Hendry picking up the title. Eventually, we get it later than what we thought. But what's your overall thoughts on Genesis? This seemed a more partnership kind of pay-per-view, didn't it? Kind of thing. NXT people coming over and stuff like that. Corey J came out and stuff like that and all. And, this felt like, yeah, we'd signed this deal, so now we are really going to, move talent back and forward and stuff like that and help each other out. Sean?
I think I stayed up for GCW, and I should have stayed up for this instead. But of what I saw of this show, I catch the highlights. This was a really, really, really good show. Having the NXT talent in there, obviously, was really beneficial to getting it. But the thing with Joe Hendry, the crowd were really into him, but I think he's lost a lot of steam. And when he was really, really, really hot, they should have put the belt on him. And he's cooled down, but he's still hot. But is he cooled down enough to the point where like this championship run goes nowhere?
Can they
I hope not.
lift him up again?
Yeah.
Can they lift him up there again? Well, I suppose creating a narrative online with Cena and stuff like that. I mean, he was on Busted Open, and the boys were asking him about the follow through on it because he had mentioned. I think he's called Cena out a couple of times now, but he regards Cena as being the best professional wrestler ever on the mic. And that's why he wants to call him out, because he reckons he can go toe to toe with him promo wise.
Sorry. I could just imagine him doing like a big thing about John Cena, and then John Cena just telling him something like really simple that's like way worse and way more brutal, which is like what he normally does. I don't know though. I would say Cena, his retirement tour, I would love him to cross over and face people who necessarily aren't within the WWE sphere, but they have to do something with Hendry. Here's an idea. Hendry says that he's better at music than John Cena and does songs about him, and John Cena says, "No, I'm not. No, you're not." And then the Doctor Who Tokenomics comes back.
Yeah, Tessa did get a rough
You
ride
imagine?
out of Dallas crowd, all right, she did. Now, remember, that Dallas crowd is very educated crowd and very unforgiving as well. So don't mess around when you're going into Dallas, and let that be a warning for AEW going down to Arlington. I think it is. Be careful what you wish for. Tough down there. Tough down there. Tough crowd.
Yeah. Is that where they are tonight?
No, they're not there tonight, but they're there for, is it All In, is it? Is All In this year?
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Yeah, so
In Texas.
they're not going to get away with half-assing it, really, you know. The Hardys picking up the tag titles.
Ooh,
Very
Sean
much
Moore?
like that. Oh, sorry.
I think it was a good match. It was a nice, solid match. I loved the part of Fraxium coming out. Yeah, obviously, Fraxium won the best tag team with, was it PWI? Yeah, PWI. And of course, they were great. They're good tag champs, good solid matches. The crowd seemed to love them, and yeah, good pop when they came out. Everyone seemed to love it. It kind of added to the atmosphere of the match. Obviously, Matt and Jeff Hardy speak for themselves. Absolute legends in the business. And yeah, I'd just say it's great for the Rascals to be in the ring with them. The lads talked about how surreal and how good it was to be in the ring with such legends like the Hardys, and which proves that they're well respected in the business and everyone just loves them. So I'd say it was probably one of my favorite matches of the night, just for what it was. I thought it was brilliant. So I did.
Yeah, I think overall, it was a really, really good card. And, you know, history would tell us that Genesis has always been a really good card to put together as well. There's a lot of history in that Genesis pay-per-view and stuff like that. But yeah, it was cool. It was cool to see the Hardy Boys both back and looking pretty healthy as well, and putting on a good show as well, especially with kind of how kind of AEW at times have gone and stuff like that. It was just kind of a disaster and stuff like that. So it was good to see them both back. But overall, I think really, really good. As Sean said, I think Joe Hendry getting the belt, I thought was kind of cool, but kind of feel they didn't push the button on it when they should have, when he was absolutely electric and on fire. But he has the belt now, so let's see what he does with it and what he makes of it and where he takes it. And certainly Cena in the picture potentially would be very, very interesting. And I said it to the boys in our WhatsApp group the other day, wouldn't be gas if Cena beat him for the TNA belt, and that was title number 17. How crazy that would be, you know? How crazy that would be. Let's see where we are. Yeah, Josh Alexander on the way potentially to NXT as well, yeah, which would be really, really cool. Wyatt 6 on SmackDown this Friday. Bully Ray looks like he's been on the sunbeds. Yeah, that's partly he's so animated on Busted Open as well that he really gets into it. Joe Hendry calling out, John Cena, Romy, Jeff Hardy wants to face Roman. Jeff, give it up. He'll be rolled up like one of your splits.
I know.
Joe Hendry definitely in the Rumble match. That'll be interesting. And if he is, make sure come out with the belt on you and then take the belt off. That's the way to do it. The way Matt moves around the ring now, he looks like he shit himself.
I thought I was the only one who thought that. Yeah.
You're not alone. Alone, but you go for Genesis. There we go. What else have we got for you, boys? What else have we got? Card tonight, of course. Card tonight for Dynamite. Cope versus Pac. We got a face-to-face Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay. We got Private Party versus the Hurt Syndicate. I'm sure everyone's very excited about that. We got Julia Hart versus Jamie Hayter. And we finish out with Samoa Joe versus Nick Wayne. Not a bad card, in fairness. Not a bad card. Interesting.
Solid card. I'm just I saw Tony Khan tweeted like a little while ago. There's weather delays and stuff, so there could be people who are meant to be here on the card tonight who, for whatever reason, can't.
Okay.
But this looks like a really good. He didn't mention anyone specifically; just said it. I'm going to make necessary changes as I've always done. I'm still put on a great show. But I think this is really, really interesting card. I think if we forgot to mention it last week, but I'm really, for fuck's sake. Oh my god.
Coping.
As I was saying, I'm really happy to see Kenny Omega back.
Yeah.
He looked great against Gabe Kidd at Wrestle Kingdom, or not Wrestle Kingdom, Wrestle Dynasty. He looked great against Brian Cage and Dynamite. So the fact we're finally having him back is great. But I'm not sure what direction they're going to go in this, because this is going to be the third match. The first two were so good. If it's even 10% as good as any of those two, it'll be great. But what direction are they going to go? Because the first time, Kenny in Wrestle Kingdom, Kenny was the heel, Ospreay was the babyface. Then the second time, Ospreay was the heel, Kenny was the babyface. But now Ospreay is so beloved by the crowd now, but so's Kenny. So it could just be two really popular guys against each other, which I think could work. But I think Kenny should be a bit annoyed because that match took not years off his career, but because of like the diverticulitis that came after that, he was out of the game pretty much for a year or something. So he never really got to have that match with Ospreay. So Ospreay's like being up here, having, I'm almost did the Elon Musk thing there, having great matches and getting to wrestle at Wembley and doing all this stuff while Kenny's being on the sidelines, wondering if, never mind, if he'll ever wrestle again, if he'll ever live or walk again. So I think they could play into that. That could be very good. Cope versus Pac. Cope will win, and then the Death Riders will come out and do their thing, and then we'll get chased off.
It'll be
it's
interesting
so
to see how that match goes, won't it? Because like you
Yeah.
got Pac there, he was like physical specimen, really fast, really in-ring, snug in-ring work and stuff like that. And then you've got Cope, you've got Edge in there who's Cope, and quite the opposite of what Pac is at the moment.
As you just said, you've got Pac in there, who's athletic and snug in the ring, and you've got Cope, who is Cope. Yeah.
Coping, yes. It'll be interesting to see how that kind of gels.
I just find it so disappointing how at All Out, at the end of it, when the Death Riders came out, my jaw was on the floor, and I sat frozen in shock for like 10 minutes after the show went off the air. And the Death Riders now, for me, have just got so stale and boring and doing the same shit all the time. I don't know what it's going to take for them to get to that level again. But I don't see it happening here.
It ain't going to happen, is it? It ain't going to happen.
No. But if you put Pac and Cope in a match, there's no way it's going to be anything other than great. So I'm hoping.
Yeah. Hopefully, yeah. And great to see Joe back as well.
Absolutely.
Britt Baker, we're going to talk about this. So obviously, Jordan Grace, she'll be heading off, I would imagine, to NXT, finishing up on TNA if the Cora Jade coming out at the pay-per-view was anything to look at and to sort of read into. What do we think? I mean, what way is this going to go? I mean, obviously, the Doc looks like she's out of AEW. That's for sure by the looks of things. Likelihood is she's probably going to come over to WWE. What way is she gonna be NXT, or is she gonna be fast tracked? What way do you think that might go?
I think I'd prefer, if I had to pick a two to come over full time, I'd say probably Jordan Grace, because Britt Baker was never really my favorite. I don't think she's been good at all in her last run. Apparently she's like seriously unpopular in the locker room. I heard like there's some sort of saying they hope she doesn't come back.
Yeah.
Now that could be the AW locker room, like Punk was saying on that podcast with Lawani being kids and all this. Or it could be Britt Baker.
Well, it must be a really difficult situation. I mean, obviously Mercedes Moné has gone in there and she holds the keys to the kingdom basically at the moment. Britt was out injured, came back. That was kind of her spot somewhat. And now that looks like that spot ain't going to be relinquished anytime soon. So she kind of doesn't have a whole lot to aim for. She's broken up with Adam Cole, so her relationship has fallen apart. Must be difficult to be in the same company, trying to work, trying to deal with that, trying to deal with kind of, rebouncing your career again after being out for a while and stuff like that. And you come back, there's a new kid in town, basically Mercedes Moné. She has the keys to the throne, to the kingdom, whatever you want to call it, and stuff like that. And everyone else is kind of tiptoeing around that at the moment. So yeah, there's probably not a lot there. So I could see why it could get a bit frustrating. Would I believe the AEW locker room over what Britt Baker might be saying? I think I'd lean towards Britt Baker, to be honest, if history serves itself well, But it'd be interesting to see if she came in and what they might do with her and stuff like that, I was thinking the other day, just bring her in and pair her up with 2 or 3 other girls and call them the Undisputed Era and hit the music and all, and just really rub it in people's faces or something like that, do something shittery, something really shithousery or something like that, But it'll be interesting to see what happens. I think both these girls are going to come over. I think Britt Baker, I think she still has an awful lot to offer. I think on her day she can be very, very good. And Jordan Gray speaks for herself. She's an excellent performer. But yeah, you think about that female situation in WWE at the moment on NXT. It's so bloated with talent. They literally have the best talent in the world without a shadow of a doubt. And it's unreal. It's unreal. So let's see how they would go about that. Where's it? AEW, no comment. Hope we get Kenny and Will teaming together. Interesting. Fernando's in. Big up, Fernando. Thanks for joining us tonight. It's going to be lit. There we go. Where is Shane? I don't know. Ghosting the situation, I would imagine. Yeah. Samoa Joe and the new Yakuza game buzzing. There we go.
The graphics on that look incredible. Did you see a screenshot of it?
I haven't seen that. I'm not a huge gamer anyway, so I probably wouldn't be looking for it. But yeah. Fernando's in. Jordan Grace is going to win the Rumble and challenge Rhea. Really? Well, that would certainly be something different, wouldn't it?
I think it'd be good, but they need to present Jordan Grace because there could be some people who aren't familiar with her, and especially if she's not appearing on WWE TV.
Yeah.
But I think a match at Rhea would be brilliant.
Although didn't she get it from, if my memory is correct anyway, last year she got a good reception, didn't she?
Oh, she got a brilliant reception.
Yeah.
Right?
In the Rumble, yeah.
Yes, I was there. There you go.
Not a great Rumble, to be honest now, was it? No surprises.
I don't know, lads. A sunny week in Orlando and going down to Tampa to the Rumble.
I'll tell you, Triple H.
I've done worse things.
Yeah, Triple H hasn't quite figured out the Rumble, I don't think. Yeah. So hopefully
Paige leaving AEW this year as well, according to Ace. Is that out there? Is that legit? Is that the case, or is that you're thinking? I haven't seen anything on that now.
I know she broke up with Ronnie Radke, but I didn't hear that she was leaving.
Okay.
I heard she took time off for personal reasons. That could have been it, but also could have been something else. I don't know, though.
I did like Brit's appearance on DDP YouTube channel. You know what I'm talking about, lads.
Yeah, I love watching yoga. Absolutely.
Well, Trish Stratus and all that, can't go wrong. Fernando, remember the drama she started with Thunder Rosa a few years ago? She is a locker room cancer. Drop the mic. Big up, Fernando. Coming in hot there with that mic pipe bomb on the show tonight. Locker room cancer, Thunder Rosa. Interesting. Better move on from this quick. What are we talking about? WrestleMania 42. Apparently the location potentially New Orleans. We know it's been a great location for it in the past. What a place to go and visit as well if you were potentially going to WrestleMania. I know David and the lads who were there, they were in New Orleans last time. They said they had an unbelievable seat down on that Bourbon Street or something is what it's called, where all the bars and all, and LA Knight was down there and all. I remember you seen him interacting with people and going into the bars and stuff like that, and all. It was really, really cool. So yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Mercedes Moné is as entertaining a drive with Sonny. Is as entertaining a drive with Sonny. There you go. The heat's coming in for AEW tonight, isn't it? Who do you think
True.
the surprises will be in the Rumble? Who do you think the surprises will be in the Rumble?
Kelly.
Hulk Hogan eliminating CM Punk. Listen, brother.
Oh my god.
Can you
No.
imagine?
Jesus
I
Christ.
nearly book it.
Yeah. No. No.
If Punk just guaranteed me he wouldn't get upset.
You sicko.
Yeah.
I'd say we'd have at least maybe 1 or 2 from TNA.
Yeah.
I think that's a given for the men and for the women.
What do you think, the Hardys?
Oh, that would be legendary. Oh,
Yeah.
That
Which
would be
though?
kind of cool.
Jeff or Matt or both?
both.
It's not the
They have to be both, don't they? They come as a
Or-
package
Teams
these
enter
days,
as
don't
one.
Or here's the thing, they can't enter as teams in the Royal Rumble, but there's a Rumble on the same night conveniently where you can enter as a team under one number. So,
they?
and there's a few lads from TNA in there. So,
Yes.
I'm not saying anything, but I think that'd be great. But the thing that makes the Rumble so much fun for me was surprises. And
Can you imagine? Can you imagine if the Hardy Boys music hits in the stadium and you can have a team entering? Have they given us like a little? Is that like a little Easter egg in there that like teams can enter as one?
I don't.
And the Hardy Boys
yeah.
haven't been mentioned.
Yeah, well, they did that last year.
Yeah.
But then, how would it be a surprise if they tell you in advance, which they've done? 16 people have been announced for this pissing Rumble, but I don't know. I think it would be absolutely fantastic. Imagine the pop. It'd be the first time I've seen Jeff since I think the house show in 2017 or 2018, just after they won the tag titles.
Yeah.
Joe
Hendry, Moose, and Nick Nemeth will be in the Rumble for TNA.
Well, I can tell you, Moose is not going to be there. Yeah,
Moose is going to be not too far from here.
He's going to be in a Rumble, not the Rumble.
Not the Rumble.
I think, Nick Nemeth would be good. Joe Hendry, I'd say more than likely. If anyone from TNA is going to be in it, I mean, has to be.
Actually, I'm just thinking, depending on how both go, he could be in the Rumble, not a Rumble.
Who? Nick?
Moose.
Oh, Moose.
Depending on how things go. Remember, sometimes that men's Rumble gets overshadowed by that women's Rumble. Just saying. Just putting it out there. So let's see. Yeah. But, we'll
I just got that now. Oh my god,
Jesus.
Niall, fuck's sake!
Took me a minute.
Yeah, it only hit me there.
I wish I didn't get that.
There you go.
Oh, podcast over.
Were you listening to Kurt Angle on the Chris Van Vliet show, talking about Rikishi with the stink face?
Dirty bastard.
Filthy.
Knew he was an Anoa'i. Yeah.
Filthy with a capital F.
I was gonna say he has enough cheek for another arse, but he literally he does. Man, that's as if I couldn't think less of that move from a taking it point of view. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I'd imagine at the best of times it doesn't smell great, taking that move. Near along with the added incentive.
Yeah. Oh God.
As they say, incentive.
I haven't had dinner yet. It's probably not going to change after
Absolutely.
this. After hearing that.
Right, lads, talk to me. This is your section. OTT, Logo Rumble coming up. We've had people declared for it. What you thinking on it? Break it down. Sean Mack, you start. Break it down. Give me a bit of, get us going on this. Get everyone listening ready for this. How important is this going to be? How big is this going to be? Where's it going to?
This is huge. So OTT, people have wanted a Rumble pretty much since its inception. And they announced last year they were finally going to do it. They held it in the KFRC. And it was ridiculously fun. Probably my favorite OTT, one of my favorite OTT shows I've ever gone to. My match of the year as well for OTT, honest to God. And they ran it in a smaller venue because they weren't sure how it was going to go. But now they're doing the National Stadium. They have a much bigger budget. There's going to be more surprises. And the show from top to bottom looks absolutely fantastic. Now, one of the features of this show, they announced in advance there is going to be 3 money matches. Now, you remember the money match? We had one at the 10th anniversary. We had one in Scrap Mania. We've been over them before, but just in case you need a recap. 2 wrestlers have a match. One wrestler represents one side stadium. The other wrestler represents the other side. Whoever's side wins, whoever wrestler for one side wins, they get money thrown at them. It could be because the matches are great, or it could be that we're peasants, but the crowd go absolutely insane at the thought of winning money. And they're like genuinely, they're so much fun. I encourage you to get to a show with a money match on it, whether it be this one or whenever else they do one. But it should be this one, really, because the money match also has implications on the local Rumble match himself, which we'll get to. But first, I'll break down the money matches. There is meant to be 3, but we've only got 2 announced so far. Grado, my man Grado, versus Living Teletubby. He's more like, I saw someone say he's like the Scottish Dusty Rhodes. And I mean from character and entrance, not in ring. I promise I'm not I'm not that out of touch.
Grado Berg.
Yeah, God. He should do that. I think he should do it in Dublin. Have the entrance where he's coming out through the locker room, and
absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be class.
Can you imagine if he had Grado coming out to the Goldberg entrance with the Madonna? And can you imagine on the same night if Goldberg was on the Rumble in the States and came out as well? That'd be pretty synced in, pretty cool.
If Goldberg was in this Rumble.
I like Grado a lot. I really like Grado.
Would the crowd? Yeah,
cool guy.
No, I absolutely love Grado. It's a shame we haven't gotten him over frequently, but now that he's back. I remember someone said if Grado's not here, it'll be the worst local Rumble ever. And he's the first person that got announced. So I'm very happy about that. But
with this card having 3 money matches, does that mean you two boys have a pretty good chance of coming out with a few quid this time? You've been quite unlucky in these, haven't you?
I would certainly hope so. But, if we lose 1, fair enough. But if we go to a show with 3 money matches and a Rumble where we can also win money, I don't know. I'll probably... I mean, we're from Cavan, so maybe think we're not going to put the money to much use anyway. So
either that or you're just bad luck and I should probably bring someone else.
Yeah, well, I went to my first money match in the Red Cow, and our side won, but I didn't win. They did a raffle that time. But we'll see. But anyway, Grado, Ilya Zarkov. You know about Grado. Some interesting developments with Ilya Zarkov at the Christmas show in the complex where we had Lyra over for not that long ago. There's a triple threat between Dara Lynch, Golden Boy Santos, and Ilya Zarkov. So Ilya Zarkov kidnapped Dara Lynch's mammy. So Mammy was suspended, not on a pole, but in the upper gallery of the complex. And she had to kind of pick her side. And eventually, she low-blowed Golden Boy Santos. Turned her back on Santos, aligned herself with her son and with Ilya Zarkov. So they're working together to try and win money. And at the 10th anniversary, both these men were in the European Gauntlet match. And Grado was the first, Zarkov was the second. Grado outsmarted Zarkov. And Zarkov, typically he gets booed, and Grado is like probably the most beloved import OTT you've ever had. So if Grado is not on our side and we're gonna have to boo him, that's gonna take a bit to adjust to. But I want 500 quid, so I don't know. And then we have Connor Mills against Robbie X. Same thing. Robbie X recently joined the Bullet Club. He was over for Belfast, faced Damo for the title. He was a heel, well, because he's in Belfast. You're not gonna get cheered over Damo in Belfast. But he could be heel again here. I think with Bullet Club they're gonna make him heel. And Connor Mills was at Wolverhampton, I think, for Scrappermania against Dan Maloney. Really, really good. I would like to see more of him. And then Big Damo, Mammy on a pole match, like Russo. You could say he did book it. Daryl Lynch's Mammy on a pole in the complex in Dublin.
Well, if it goes well, he'll take credit for it, saying, "Oh, I did it years ago. This was a suggestion I did years ago." Bro.
Yeah, bro. And speaking of OTT Championship, Sanity members against each other, despite Eric Young being in the Rumble with Axel Tischer, presumably as a team. He's facing Damo. I think this will be better than Damo's last outing in the National Stadium. That was against Rene Dupree. It was a 5-minute match to get the crowd kind of back to the action, but cool them down to the point where we flip our lid for Judgment Day. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't think they'd have Eric Young win the OTT title and then win the Rumble, or not win the Rumble, or vice versa. But I think Damo needs something because his reign hasn't really been huge. Like, I know Finn and JD were over for Dublin for the anniversary, but that focus any other year would have been on the OTT title match. So I feel he kind of needs that boost. But there's one more money match. Either there's one more money match, or Damo and Eric Young is a money match, and they haven't told us. But personally, I don't think that needs to be a money match. That's your world title match, and you have to rely on peasants winning money to get the crowd invested. I don't think that's a good thing.
Sean was part of the Rumble. Who's declared so far? Who are you going to think? We know Jay's going in as number one. Is there a case for Jay going bell to bell?
I'd like to see Jay or Limo. I feel like Limo and Jay have both kind of worked our butts off for the past year, especially. You know, they've had big matches or big moments on the shows, and yeah, I just kind of hope it's leading up to something big. One of them winning and getting a world title match. Oh God, Moose though. Moose. Who doesn't love Moose? You always trust the system. The system works. And I just got me t-shirt there the other day, so I'll be wearing that.
What if, Sean Mack, what if it comes down to Jay and Limo at the end and we get the hokey, both guys hit the ground at the same time finish?
Yeah, I don't know. I have heard, and there's very legitimate discussion of what I've heard talking to people. A lot of people are saying Jay's going to win this. They're going to say he's going to go from number one bell to bell because he's really popular. He was actually the Iron Man of the Rumble last year. He stayed in the longest, and he was up there until like just before the fourth quarter.
That'd be
huge actually, yeah,
wouldn't it?
Absolutely. He eliminated, Be Cool and Justy were about to hug, and then he low blow Justy and eliminate him. And Barry was like, "What are you doing?" And he goes, "Oh, sorry." And then Barry turns back, and he tried to eliminate Barry, but then Barry turned around and eliminated him. Now, out of the people confirmed here so far, as we said, there's rules for this match. So obviously it's 30-man over the top rope, both feet hit the floor. Whoever wins gets OTT title shot scrapper. That's given. But it gets a little interesting because second and third get a title shot together. So what I think that means is they'll be in a triple threat match, maybe. And they've also said that as well as the money match element in the undercard, there's going to be prize fighters, cash prizes to be won. Now they haven't quite explained that, but my interpretation of it is there's going to be an odd entrant who's going to be representing one side, and another entrant represents the other side, and then obviously if they win, they'll get money. Out of the people who are here, yeah, I'd say Jay, but people are forgetting Donovan Dijak. Sean mentioned Moose, Agle Blanc, who had match of the year with Michael Oku, Cara Noir, who was out for like a year, 2 years, and is finally back. He is probably one of my favorite entrances ever. You see it the first time. When it starts, you're kind of laughing and cringing, like, oh my God, like, what the fuck is this? And then he does the pose in the ring, and you're on your feet, and he's an exceptional wrestler. Trent Seven, former OTT World Champion. Be Cool, former OTT World Champion, who actually won the first Loco Rumble. He opened that Christmas show in Dublin saying that he was told he should stop wrestling by everyone, but he's not doing it. 2025 is going to be his year. I don't know about giving Be Cool the Rumble match twice. I would say, I'd say Jay is probably the most likely to win this.
There's a lot of lads over the last year who've put in a serious shift in there, haven't they?
Yeah.
So you got to kind of recognize that at some stage.
Yeah, Jay absolutely, I think, is the one. But PCO has also been announced. My man PCO, so he hasn't been announced for the Rumble. Either he's going to be in a money match or the Rumble or both. But I would presume the Rumble. But that means there is, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And if you take away Axel and Tischer, make them one, that is 15.
So halfway.
So there is 15 people in this Rumble that we don't know about. And
or should we say 15 places?
Yeah.
We could get tag teams.
That we don't know about at the time of us recording. And probably Weekly Enough Show will have have everyone. But I think last year the tag teams, the surprise tag teams, the only real surprise was the lads from the flats, Paddy M, Worky. I'm not sure if repeating, as much as I love the lads from the flats, I don't know if repeating the same surprises would have quite the impact. Like the thing with this Rumble is, I legit do not know what to think. Because when I say anyone could be in this, I literally mean anyone could be in this. I've heard speculation that Rob Van Dam has been in talks with Joe to come back, and that sounds amazing. I absolutely adore Rob Van Dam, but he has been in OTT before. It was against Scotty Davis, and he looked like he couldn't be arsed. So if we get that Rob Van Dam, I'm not really that interested. But if we get the Rob Van Dam that shows up and wants to be there, I think that would be great.
The Rumble environment might be a bit different.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just trying to think. Who else could we... I was someone who I actually thought was going to be there last year and wasn't. Who I was actually quite surprised about was Angel Cruz. I think he'd be great in it. I heard speculation when we were trying to figure out who was going to be Barry's partners to Scrap Mania that the Wards were going to be in there. Now, obviously, I don't think we'll get Joe. But if we got Pa or Rocky Mac or someone... Another person I've seen people mention is Sammy D. He lost to Jay at the 10th anniversary and kind of teased retirement in a post on Instagram. Now, Joe said he's probably just like resting because of injuries that he didn't take care of because he was like full time. I think he'd be a very interesting person to have. I'd also like, this is a funny one, Jay Steins, the ringleader, Jay Steins. He's been trying to get in the Rumble for a long, like pretty much since it started, announcing people. And he's a gangster. He comes out to Straight Outta Compton. His graphic is the Straight Outta Compton logo with everyone, and then one more spot with him in it. Nice. He's really entertaining. He came out at Contenders. He interrupted Jay versus JJ Gale. Got a big pop. Jay beat him up and threw him out. And he's been trying to get in the Rumble. Another man who's been trying to get in the Rumble is Robbie Mack from Limerick, who's the promoter of Hard Knocks, and he's been trying pretty hard. So he could be in there. I'm just wondering, are they going to go like Irish, more imports, or mix of the two? They have 15 spots here. I think having the tag teams one really helps because that's one spot. It's not 2 or 3 or 4 spots that they have to waste away. But if I was to pick someone, he wasn't on my list, but now that you mentioned him, I want to see that.
Former friend of Joe's as well. Joe's had him over once or twice, I think, for shows as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Down the Mount there.
Heidenreich and Be Cool in the same ring. Can you imagine?
There you go.
But then I feel they're also... Yeah. Fuck, yeah. Paddy M would be great as well. I know I said he was there last year.
Justy?
There last year. But would be great. I'm just trying to... Maybe... Speedball would be a great one. Paul Tracy, maybe, would be a great one. Logan Bryce, if he's built up. You know what I'd love to see? And it's not going to happen. I don't know if Sean even remembers this. This is going way back now. Bobby George Jr. He was a darts player, and he had an announcer, Tony Idol, and he was... Now, in kayfabe, he died.
Yeah.
But I think in real life, like, he had health problems or something, so he stepped away. But that would be great. Another one I'd like to see, and it would never happen, but Madman Manson would be absolutely lethal.
That would be very good.
Yeah, Tracy, maybe. Yeah, Angel Cruz.
Are we getting that? Would you go as far as, are you getting any female representation going into it?
I wouldn't think so, no, because they don't have a stacked roster. They didn't do the Women's Rumble last year. I think they have to do a couple of Rumbles and build up the Women's division a bit more before they can do this. Because even though this is the National Stadium and we have all these people over, it's not an established Big Four show yet. There's still a good amount of seats left. They've only done one. So I'd say if this is good, they could think about doing a Women's Rumble.
I was thinking more women's representation in the men's Rumble. I was thinking, could Martina take a spot in this? Or
Martina's taken time off because she got like a really bad head injury after the Raven Creed thing, and she has been back since. I don't know. But that could be a surprise, couldn't it? Maybe.
Corey Zero would be a great one, I think.
Yeah, she could come out because BDE are in this. They're not,
Yeah,
but they're not on the graphic, but they've all entered as a team. As far as I know, that's just Josh, Nikki, and JB. I don't know if Corey Zier will be there, but that could be.
good idea.
Yeah, but the thing is, I doubt maybe even half the people I've mentioned is going to be in this, but they go above and beyond. It can literally be anyone. And also, as I said, Scrappermania, the winner gets title shot at Scrappermania. Scrappermania will be on the 9th of May this year. And I have a feeling that we will get some information regarding a certain maybe a 16-time world champion who does movies and is on a retirement tour this year, who could be there.
James Ellsworth?
Yeah, absolutely. Man, who be world champion 3 times. God, Ellsworth.
I mean,
And be cool.
one person, sorry, we didn't think for the Rumble, who I'd actually love to see. Mark Haskins. He hasn't been around in a long while.
Yeah, and he's been in Ireland recently. That would be something. I saw Roby Kenobi said Japanese talent. When Joe did that podcast with the guys from the Irish Wrestling Insider, they mentioned that they got Jushin Thunder Liger for Scrapper that time on his retirement tour. There's also another legend from Japan on a retirement tour, and his name is Hiroshi Tanahashi. So that could be quite something.
It's good shit.
Gabe Kidd. I've wanted Gabe Kidd in Dublin for so long. I don't know why it hasn't happened. I think he's just kind of tough to lock down for dates, Joe said. But Gabe Kidd, you know who I've wanted to see, but I've never seen, and I'm very disappointed I wasn't in OTT to see. Minoru Suzuki.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, I could give you 20 more names, but the possibilities of this are endless. And I think now that they have a bigger budget, with bigger surprises and more stuff going on in the match, this has to deliver. And if it's even 10% as good as the Rumble match was last year, it's already there. They can do it in the stadium.
They've kind of pushed that snowball off the top of the hill, haven't they? And now it's gathering momentum. So everything has to outdo everything else. And this is not you can't go cheap now. You can't pad this out now with just, I don't mean cheap, but you know what I mean, like local roster member kind of thing. This has to be a little bit of that. But
and there will be, and I presume there will be them in there, but they need that. Get in the stadium and wrestle, but with the big budget, they need big surprises. But the thing I was going to ask is if we can all name one person, whether it be a tag team or a single wrestler, is going to be in this. Who's it going to be? And also, and this might be thinking too far ahead, but they've said Scrappers the 9th of May. If they announce anything about that, do you think we'll get a name or anyone maybe?
Here's one I was thinking, because obviously I put in Corvin's statement there as well about being suspended and fined over.
That's me speaking about that. Yeah.
Do we see a situation where the three boys come back as the Kings of the North and go into?
I think Corvin has pretty much cut off all ties with them, and he's made it clear he wants no part of them, wants to be his own man. That would be amazing, obviously, but Corvin, he got suspended because he beat the Sam, and Corvin ended up screaming at a fan in the crowd and shoving him and beating him up. It turned out to be a comedian he was friends with in kayfabe, who was a fan. Yeah. So he got suspended. But I think Corvin is going to break that suspension. And I even saw a comment, because they're doing Belfast night after. Someone said, lift Damien Corvin's punishment and give him PCO as a punishment. I wouldn't wish that on my worst nightmare. You should book Izumi. Oh yeah, Izumi. That's not the girl from Stardom, is it? Am I thinking of?
Yeah.
That's her.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, speaking of Izumi and women, I think they should do, maybe not now, but they should do Defiant again, the women's show in the Ringside Club. They used to be really, really nice shows, and I don't think they've done one since the 5th year anniversary, and we've just hit 10, so that's crazy. So
I gotta be honest though, for Scrapper, if there's one woman I would love to see for Scrapper, the CEO. Mercedes.
She wanted. You want to know a fact about Mercedes Moné? She wanted $50,000 for a photo shoot where you couldn't even stand by her. You think she's gonna go in and do the job for Raven Creed or something?
I seen a guy, one of the lads, Anderson, I think, on Twitter today, and he put up a picture, and it was Naomi there with Mercedes Moné, Sasha Banks or whatever, and he was so far over this way away from them, and that was the photo opportunity. he may as well have been shopping in the shop next door. It's
50 grand.
absolutely ridiculous.
That's too much.
Ridiculous.
And even people, and I've seen people say I like her, but no, it's way too much.
Yeah, and here let's be honest here,
Yeah.
guys. Joe has budget, but he ain't got that budget.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of budget, I was talking to my brother about this. I don't know how feasible it would be. And my brother said no, and I said, well, look, they've had Lyra, they've had Finn and Jordan, and I said, we talk about the Irish. There's only one, well, two, but one mainly
Becky Lynch.
has been here. Not Becky Lynch. Well, Becky Lynch, but I was thinking
Sheamus
in the National Stadium in the Rumble. The connections are there, but but my brother said, if they can't get him, even with like double Moxley's pay and double Judgment Day's pay, there's no way they're getting him over. And I said, you would be surprised. He has connections with Joe. He was in Irish Whip Wrestling all those times ago, and I mean that would be amazing. Yeah. But I don't know.
He was on the first. He was on the first NLW show as well.
That's right. Yeah. So
I think he faced. What's his name? Cop Killer, wasn't it? What's his name?
I'm sorry.
The Kings of the North.
Oh, Duncan Sorley.
Duncan. Sorry, I couldn't remember his name. Duncan. Yeah, I think he faced him on that show. I think, if I'm right.
Yeah.
I think he did.
How's Duncan the first person you think of when you say Cop Killer? When that was something Homicide did in the TNA like eons ago.
Do you know why? Because I've been to so many shows with Duncan on them.
Yeah, that's
every
fair.
time he hits that Cop Killer, I have to look away because it is so ridiculously close to death, but yet so snug. Yeah. It's ridiculous. I've seen him hit Joe with it a few times now. I think he hit Joe with it one time in the Tivoli.
Yeah,
it was to put Joe out. It was setting up the Kings versus the Wards and all that. And it was insanely, and he hits it in a way as well that it's not like Homicide. It's insanely loose.
It's a disgusting move.
Yeah, he puts it across in a way that it's kind of nearly a lack of protection for your opponent.
It's a horrible move, and I say that in the same light as Homicide with a guy called Hernandez who used to do the border toss, which is also you should see the ones he hit on Spike Dudley and the one he hit on Gail Kim. Absolutely murder. But I think
she was just on the last show, Ronnie. She was just on the December show.
Yeah, bit late now. Yeah, I'd say it should come back at some point. But I would like Sheamus, Rob Van Dam, Bobby George Jr., Paddy M, Speedball, John Cena, Ultimate Warrior, Yokozuna. Yeah.
For the local Rumble coming live from Riyadh.
Yeah, I forgot what country I was in. Yeah, but no, regardless of who they have, it's going to be a fantastic show. I will know by tomorrow whether or not I'll be watching this in person. I sincerely hope I will. And this is going to be an absolutely fantastic show. So hopefully we can leave with a full belly of beer, smiles on our faces, and hopefully a bit more cash in our pockets than when we went in.
Can you imagine if they had Finlay and Sheamus? How cool would that be?
Finlay and Sheamus.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Imagine that as a face-off in the Rumble. That'd be so cool.
I remember Justy did a thing, I think it was for the Irish Contender show that they had in 2019. It was the Angel Cruisers against Justy and someone else, and it was a mystery partner. And he said, by the way, lads, it's not Finlay. And then he got like 200 comments saying, it's Finlay, isn't it? He's like, it's not fucking Finlay. And he put up on his story, stop telling me it's going to be Finlay or I'll block you. And then at the show, he said, hi, it's not Finlay, like heckling the crowd. Like, but can you imagine it actually was that time? It ended up being Charlie Sterling in a mask called the Irish Warrior. And they asked him to sing the national anthem and he started singing the English one. So good.
Crazy.
Yeah. I want Sheamus, I want Angel Cruz, and I want Bobby George Jr. Please and thanks.
There we go. Mother Grace from Belfast is killing it in Marigold.
Yeah, been in OTT a couple of times as well. Could come back.
Right. So we'll probably have more information next week, won't we? Because next week we're going to be doing as well. We're going to be doing our Rumble draw that we spoke about. So on next week's show, what we're going to do is everyone in the chat is going to be allocated a number out of a bag here for the Royal Rumble. And then what we'll do is we'll pick a a couple of winners based on the Rumble and stuff like that, and see how it goes. So yeah, and we'll give away a few hats and a few T-shirts and all the usual good stuff that we normally have.
Yeah.
What did you think of that quiz I put in the chat, Niall? I haven't had a chance to look at it as I've been up to my tonsils. So there you go. But I will take a look at it. Right, let's do a little bit of history because it's Rumble season and stuff like that. Niall with the Take Our Ministry beard. There you go.
It's not that bad.
You know something? I was thinking of our gig tonight, the Limp Bizkit one coming up in March.
Oh, yeah.
And I was thinking, I said, I'm not going to get a Limp Bizkit t-shirt, so I might go for the classic Take Our Rolling one.
Yeah.
I had a look on eBay last night. Do you know how much it goes for?
Well, like a really old one.
Well, I assume it's an original one.
400?
360 bucks.
Oh my god! And that's not.
Jesus.
And I assume it comes from America, and that's not even with fees and
Fees and because you're probably
Yeah.
$4.50 deep into that shirt. So I just went straight back onto the Limp Bizkit site.
just go to Extreme Wrestling shirts. Yeah.
I
The
think
thing-
I'll go with
yeah.
an American Badass one or something like that.
Yeah, Limp Bizkit never had merch, but they
Yeah.
do have merch like for this tour, and I've seen it. It's AI generated slop. It looks like even touching it with like a wet hand would get the print off. It looks shocking.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
just get a bootleg one or something. You'll be all right.
Yeah, you'll feel better about yourself. But anyway, let's get into this and finish it out. 2002, Phillips Arena in Atlanta, Georgia played host to the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. The Rumble match itself was won by Triple H, eliminating Kurt Angle for the victory. The match also saw possibly the most talked about Rumble elimination in history when Tough Enough rookie Maven
Yeah.
shockingly eliminated The Undertaker. I love Maven. I
Yeah.
love him. Loved his entrance, loved his promos. They dropped the ball on Maven.
Yeah.
Big one. 1985, wrestler and promoter Eddie Graham passed away at the age of 55. The cause of death was suicide. Huge promoter down in the Florida region, if you can remember. Yeah, was instrumental in that area. Very, very sad. 1990, the second Royal Rumble, some people would argue, took place at the Orlando Arena in Orlando, Florida. In the main event, Hulk Hogan eliminated Mr. Perfect to win the 30-man Royal Rumble match. 1996, WWE Royal Rumble took place at the Selland Arena in Fresno, California. Lads, I worked in Fresno for about 5 months. If you're ever offered a job in Fresno, do not go there. That's all I'm saying. No, not at all. I came out of a restaurant. I'm beside the restaurant. Here's a story. I was over there and my wife was actually buying this house at the time, so I had to fly back to do a medical, sign mortgage papers, and then fly back over to continue working. But while I was over there, lads, I came out of a restaurant one night. I was over there on my own. I came out of a restaurant after having a meal, and 2 guys had broken into a hunting shop. You know, a gun shop? They came out of the gun shop with all these guns, and the police shot the 2 boys dead right in front of me. And I told my wife, and she said, "Get on a plane and come home straight away." Crazy stuff. I think she was more concerned about the mortgage than me, though.
Don't shoplift guns from a gun shop.
No, absolutely not. Shawn Michaels won his 2nd consecutive Royal Rumble match when he last eliminated Diesel. In the main event for the WWF World Heavyweight Championship, The Undertaker defeated champion Bret Hart by disqualification. There you go. 2001, the WWE Royal Rumble took place at the New Orleans Arena in New Orleans, Louisiana. Stone Cold Steve Austin won his record-breaking 3rd Royal Rumble match when he eliminated Kane for the victory. It was a great night. The match was also notable for Kane eliminating 11 men, breaking the record of 10 eliminations set by Hulk Hogan in 1989, of course, and matched by Austin in 1997. The record stood until it was broken by
Roman Reigns
Chief in 2014. There you go. 2008 Monday Night Raw on this date became the first WWE program to ever broadcast in high definition. There you go.
Yeah.
Now these days when you think about it.
Yeah. I go back and I watch the older shows that were like in 2006 that weren't in high definition, and then I see the new ones and I'm like, how did I ever watch this? It looks light years better, but it's big deal.
1994, WWE's Royal Rumble took place at the Civic Center in Providence, Rhode Island. The main event of the show set Royal Rumble history when, for the first time, 2 men jointly won the match. Bret Hitman Hart and Lex Luger both hit the floor at the same time and were declared co-winners. There you go, OTT, Jay and Limo. Think about it. Get out of it.
Jay and PCO.
There you go. 1995, Shawn Michaels was the winner of the Royal Rumble match at the pay-per-view of the same name from the USIF Sun Dome in Tampa, Florida. He won after entering at number 2, last eliminating the number 1 entrant, the British Bulldog. 1984, Hulkamania was born as Hulk Hogan defeated the Iron Sheik in Madison Square Garden to win his first WWF Championship. He would hold the belt for over 4 years. I had to include that tonight, lads, with what's going on this week and stuff like that.
I want if Iron Sheik was still with us. I wonder what you think of this. Now.
I met him. Met him a couple of times. I had the privilege of him in his motor scooter running over my foot and telling me to get out of the way and not even apologizing. And I loved every minute of it. I have a pop-up there and a figure signed by him. Loved the guy. It was well worth it. 1988, WWE's first ever Royal Rumble match took place on a special event on the USA Network. The match featured only 20 men and was won by Hacksaw Jim Duggan after he eliminated the one-man gang. 2 other men I met on the same trip. There you go.
Hacksaw and one-man gang?
Yes, I met one-man gang. I actually have a figure over there signed and a custom Hasbro signed by the one-man gang. One is one-man gang, one is a team. Met Slick on the same trip as well. And I have something somewhere signed by Hacksaw Jim Duggan as well.
One-man gang was a gentleman of a larger
certainly was. And became Akeem. And got the Akeem gimmick because he was being punished and turned it into his own. He was brilliant. I even got both boys at WrestleCon to do the dance for me.
Really?
And they were bopping around. It was cool. It was cool. There we go. Notable birthdays. Maurice, 1983. I can't believe Maurice was 1983. This looks fabulous. Ivan Putski, 1941. 1954. Tully Blanchard. There we go. Nigel McGuinness, 1976. Jay Briscoe, 1984. A tough one to include, but I felt I had to for the week and all that was in the month that's in it. Mike Awesome, 1965. Vince Russo, who you brought up, 1961. And we rounded out with 1942, one Gary Hart, one of the best heels to ever do it. There you go. That's your notable birthdays for the week. That's your Raw recap. That's your OTT Loco Rumble update. We got WrestleMania 42 location, CM Punk dropping mini pipe bombs, Hulk Hogan on the world getting upset. We have a new president in the United States. It's all going off at the moment, isn't it? It's all going off at the moment. Let's finish out with some of these comments. Fernando, R.I.P. Romy, Mike Awesome. 1990, I was still swimming about like Nemo. I was doing my leaving cert. There you go. Wow, there we go. Niall, you have to say Hitman in Razor's voice. I do.
Go on. We have time.
Go on.
What is it? How do I do it?
The big guy.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Hey, Michael, say hello to the big guy or something like that. No,
then Hacksaw went to WCW and took the TV title out of a rubbish bag.
Oh, yeah.
He did. Love Hacksaw. There you go, folks. That's it. Another show in the bag. We will be back next week. We're going to have our Rumble draw so you can win a few prizes and stuff like that. So that'll be a bit of fun on the night. We'll give you the usual Raw recap. We'll give you any updates, of course, on the Loco Rumble from the boys as well. We'll have a bit of fun. Next week's show is going to be a bit of fun. So let's lighten the mood, have a bit of crack. It is Rumble season, so always great fun. Always look forward to it. One of the most exciting events in the year. But until next time, folks, you two boys, thanks for joining me again. Really appreciate you guys coming on. Sean, delighted you could make the time for us this week and fit us into your schedule. Really appreciate that.
Anytime.
Well, that's what he used to tell me, anytime. But
I'll always try when I'm not on the drink.
There you go.
You know how us chefs are, you know.
It's not here. It's a stressful job. Stressful job. Hell's Kitchen. There we go. Sean, appreciate you coming on as well. Do like the hoodie if you want to tell people about it.
Thank you very much. I'm extremely disappointed and upset that I didn't get any compliments on my hoodie. Don't bother typing them in now. Stream's over. It's too late. But thank you very much, Niall, again for having me on.
Great for wearing it.
I know. No, I'm not brave because it took people time to warm up on it, and now everyone loves it. I did get called a flamingo in college today, but I'm like, yeah, you mean like the really cool animals in the zoo that everyone goes to see? Yeah, thanks. But thank you, Niall. Thank you, Sean, for being here with me, and I cannot wait to see the local rumble with you. I was going to say soon. It's next Saturday, and I can't wait to talk all about it. And hopefully, we will leave with some money. And if things goes well next week, maybe a shirt and a hat, courtesy of the Upper Tier podcast.
So what we might do is we'll do a 30 number draw out for everyone who comes into the chat, right? And hopefully 30 of you guys better show up for this, or we'll be double jobbing on the numbers or whatever. But what we'll do is
1079 do the 20 man.
We'll make the numbers valid for both rumbles. So if Jay wins and you have number one, and you have number one in the WWE Rumble or the Loco Rumble, if Jay wins, we'll give you a prize for that one as well. So we can't do any more than that, can we? That's fair.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
So we'll draw 30 numbers, and your number that you get, if you draw number 8 is valid both for the Loco Rumble and for the WWE Rumble. So you have a double chance of winning something.
But then what happens if we don't win any money matches, and then we don't win anything in the Rumble, and we don't win anything in this either? Should we just give up? Just give up, retire to South of France and die or something?
I told you the secret to winning one of the money matches, isn't it? You don't sit together, sit opposite sides.
We don't know who's on the side until they announce it for the ring announcement, so there's no point.
But if you've got one either side, the chances are with 3 money matches, one of them is going to win one of them.
I think our tickets are booked right next to each other, so I couldn't. I don't know.
I'll move the chair. They won't know anyone was there.
But it's all fun and games till I'm on the winner's side and you're not.
Yeah, brilliant, Fernando. Really appreciate you coming in and stuff like that. Make sure you're on for next week's one as well. We get you a number and stuff like that, and hopefully we can get a hat and a shirt to you or something like that, and a mug. I don't know what I have there. If shirts, of hats, think of mugs and a few other bits and stuff like that, so we'll get them out to people. Yeah, absolutely. So until next time, folks, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button, drop a like on the video for these two guys. They're doing a stellar job. They're bringing you all the updates coming from wrestling along with myself, including the local Irish scene, which is so important to all three of us, plus you guys in the chat. Most important that the local scene lives and breathes and promotes it. And hopefully in the near future, we see some of these guys who are knocking it out of the park on that bigger stage in WWE as well, or whatever it is. So until next time, folks, have a great week. I'll be back tomorrow night with Darren at 9 for Thursday Tier Talk, Premier League preview. No doubt we're going to be talking about Man United, and we'll have our tips and picks for Beat the Bookie as well. Try and win you guys a few quid at the weekend as well on the football. But until next time, keep safe, and we'll talk to you real soon. Cheers, lads.
Pleasure as always, Niall. Hopefully we'll have some money